Sometimes a writer or director has a vision, and it's up to that artist to bring that vision to an understanding that the audience gets. So the question is, do I get head? Why did I write that in the script? Because it's funny, that's why. And if you don't think that that's funny, this movie is going to be a chore to watch. So the question is, did I get head? Answer soon. Hit the button. Let's get started. Head. Head is about 5 20-somethings that go for a weekend camping trip in remote New England, only to discover that the land on which they are staying was the site of a brutal mass murder years ago. Hey there, hi there, ho there, Andrew here, the horror host of Generations X, Y, and Z, inside Davis Manor, where we find humor and horror. And if you like TV shows, movies, horror and haunted attractions, look no further. This is the channel you want to subscribe to. And as we answer if I got head or not, go ahead, click the card above. Tell me if you've seen this movie, or if you haven't, leave a comment down below and tell me what you thought of the movie, or even if you've heard of this movie, as I give a big old shout out to the patrons of the channel who help produce these videos. And if voting on future projects and reviews, being rewarded with merchandise, or getting behind the scenes access with me sounds exciting, then click the link above if you enjoy this channel and find out more. Links are also in the description and at the end of the video. Head is about 5 people, I guess you could say, which are camping, and they're named Joe, Nellie, Lenny, Bruce, and Vicky, and they are camping and about to experience a very tired and worn out camping trip horror trope. The only difference in this movie is they're puppets. Wait a minute, can I say that? Is that like a bad term? Should I be saying textile Americans maybe instead? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to stereotype at all, but they are always looking for a handout. I'm telling you, this video is so much funnier than this movie that I'm reviewing right now. Alright, so let me get into the review of this movie. The film starts off with a character named Graveyard Gill, which has no relation to the movie whatsoever, other than the fact that he is some type of horror host of the show that's called Midnight Thrills, and we watch him do his shtick for about 2.5 minutes, then he tosses to a movie. Notice I said a movie and not the movie, and that is because Gill goes and tosses to a short that's called The Walking Path. It's really 2 male puppets that are ad-libbing before they get attacked. I think the writer-director John Bristol thought he was creating hilarious banter, but he wasn't. Seriously, if you want to watch entertaining and realistic dialogue in a picture, watch something made by Tarantino. The man has mastered that in film. But reviewing this short film before the feature length, I can say that this director has chosen poorly in the realms of shots and keeping us visually entertained. There is nothing going on in the background, and dare I say rather static puppets in the foreground. Not visually stimulating at all. And I'm not taking a dig at this guy because he's a puppeteer. I got nothing wrong with puppeteers whatsoever. They're good people. In fact, they're usually willing to lend a hand. There's much better jokes in this video than in the movie. I'm telling you right now. So after a 3.5 minute short, we get back to Gill, who basically yucks it up for another 3 minutes until the beginning of the movie starts. Why? Why are we seeing a bookend narrative intro to a short film, then come back into the feature length? Why is this taking 3 minutes? Why are the jokes so lame? I mean, not in this video, I'm talking about in the movie. And why do I have to wait between 9 and 10 minutes to see a movie after the movie already started? And the answer is found in the credits. John Bristol says in a thank you to his mom for letting him watch horror movies in a local TV station, meaning that this is his homage to the old black and white horror hosts of yesteryear. And this would have worked if the narrative frame was about Gill and horror stories, but it isn't, and that makes me want to pause. For self-promotion, you can go ahead and click the link above, and that will take you to my review of Creepshow, one of the best horror anthologies ever, with an excellent narrative frame. After the title pops up, we get to see our 5 textile Americans ready for fun on a camping trip. They get to the site and they look around, and this is where our lead textile, forget it, the puppet Vicky, gets spooked out by a much older Tom, whom is said to be in his 40s. 40s old? Anyways, I can say that the transitions in this movie, the vehicle shots, the other B-roll footage, it makes it feel like the movie is in our world. Doesn't have to be, but it does. And it gets redundant very quickly because they're long transition shots. Also, there's only waist-up shots for all the characters that are in here because they are puppets. it could have been altered a little bit, meaning the director, John Bristol, and the director of photography, who is Rick Passmore, who also has about 12 other jobs, they do a good job hiding the rods that are in the puppets' hands. All the cast, all the puppets are rod puppets. And it would have been nice to see them change that up a little bit. Use a live hand puppet. Instead, it would have given the director new shots. It would have changed the monotony of everything that you see. Getting back to old Tom, he returns to the campsite with beers later that night, and we see Lenny and Bruce compete for the affections of Vicky. And that makes me wonder if Bristol liked the comedian Lenny Bruce, or if that's just some type of coincidence. Anyway, this is where we get some exposition through dialogue of the characters. You know what's annoying? Forced exposition. And you know what's worse than that? Bad voice acting explaining said exposition. The story continues as Tom and Vicky get spooked by locals that are keeping things hush-hush about the murders before. Also, Vicky finds out that Tom has a secret that he's been hiding, and one by one, the group of campers are being taken out in typical slasher narrative, to include a topless puppet getting felled up by another puppet. Felt puppet. Heck, I'm counting that as a pun anyways. So, what can I say about this movie's story? Well, it is old. It is worn out. There is no twist or closure that is fitting or at least entertaining at all in here. They should have taken another week at least to fix the script. John Bristol is said to have wrote the movie as well as directing and a whole bunch of other things, but there's a J.R. Calvo and Brian Woodman that are listed as contributing writers. What they contributed, I have no idea. It certainly wasn't plot, suspense, drama, thrill, or humor. And I'm not what you might say a connoisseur of fine puppet horror, because I don't really think there's a lot of horror movies out there that cast only puppets. So I don't know really how to stick to this genre other than saying that it's supposed to be a dark comedy. Unfortunately, it is a comedy horror that is not very funny. I actually think they're trying too hard to be funny in this film. The jokes don't land, or there's too much of a pause at the end of the joke that it feels awkward for the audience when they don't laugh. And the executive producer, Russ Whirlbird or Whirlybird, I'm not quite sure. He thanks his father at the end of the credits there, and Satan also, saying without the help of them, none of this could have happened. And I don't know if that's supposed to be funny or not, but saying the devil made you do it does not get you out of trouble, Russ. I've tried. And for that matter, cursing puppets do not make a funny or successful movie. You can go ahead and look at the Happy Time murders for further clarification, if need be. This movie is predictable and pointless. It adds nothing to the genre except for the novelty of seeing it played out in puppet form, which is something that Elmwood Productions are known for. Puppets, you like them? You want to see them getting decapitated? Yeah, then go and check out this movie. Otherwise, skip the film. And that brings us to the Danger Zone, where I give out scores to the different categories I've been talking about, plus give an overall rating of the film. So let's start off with the direction. The direction is a 6. I give John Bristol a below average score on here because I think he does a decent job when it comes to mimicking and simulating real life in puppet form, and he has good intentions, but overall, he executes this film poorly on here. The acting, I give a 5. Failure in this film. The acting is terrible. I shouldn't say the acting, it's voice acting. Voice acting with little emotion. You know what voice acting with little emotion is? It's called reading. The reading in this movie is terrible. There's only one emotion that is believable at all with these puppets, and that is frustration. When you hear that they are frustrated, you believe it. And it might be the fact that I was frustrated when I was watching this film, so therefore I could sympathize with them, or maybe they were just frustrated as actors trying to do these puppets. Narrative, I give a 5. It's also a failure on here. The story has been done countless times before. There's nothing new except that the fact that the cast are puppets. There are no twists that haven't been seen a mile away coming away. And the narrative frame, let me say, also is a waste of time. Speaking of that, there's way too much padding in this film as well. The genre, I give a 5. Why? It's a horror comedy. It's neither funny or scary. You fail on both sides. But that leads me to, did I get head? Yes, I get this film. I do. I think it's a parody. I think it's joking around. I think it's making fun of itself. And with it, it is failing all the way through. So do I get head? Yes, I get it. But you still have not executed this genre properly at all, which leads me to enjoyment. And that's a 5. And another fail. This movie has used up valuable time on my life, on planet Earth, To the point that not only have I spent an hour watching it, but I had to go ahead and take notes. I had to write out some of my thoughts on a script. I had to film this. I had to edit, produce it, upload it. You're watching it right now. You're wasting time. Not really. You're watching me. That's valuable in itself. But the only thing I can honestly say that I enjoyed watching in this film is the end credits. Not because the movie was over. It was because I was counting how many times I saw the same name over and over in different positions. There are like 20 people that make this movie, right? And that's just, I'm guessing. I haven't actually counted that. But there's like 150 different lines on here. It's crazy. Can you tell me how the executive producer, Whirlybird, or whatever his name is, he's the executive producer, he's a puppeteer, he's a camera operator, he's a key grip, he's a boom operator. Why also boom operators? Why is there like 8 boom operators in this movie? You just put a mic on the person as they're going ahead and doing this. Actually, I don't even think they were mic'd. I really think, listening to the ADR, I think that a lot of the recording was in a separate room, because you hear the background noise of them being in a camp, and then somebody speaks something, and it's dead silent. I think the boom operator, I think that's a crock. I think they were just going to try and pad up their resume or something. Anyways, that leads me to the overall rating of this film, and that is a 5.2, a generous 5.2, might I add, in the books here. I wanted this film to be better than what I saw. I really was rooting for it. I saw saw the trailer and I wasn't that impressed, but I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. I want to see it. I think it's going to be good. It fell short on so many levels. It could be a building block for the production company that, what is it called? Elmwood Productions. They could do better the next time that they produce something. I'm hoping so. Only time will tell. And once again, make sure that you go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it already, and hit that bell icon so you become part of the notification squad, and you get notified the moment that I upload. And I will see you in the next video.